Everybody, Madison here with Health by Ratio, my team of licensed physical therapists, corrective exercise specialists, and functional health coaches work holistically with our clients all online to create customized programs to get them out of recurring injury and pain cycles and progress them toward their functional health and or fitness goals. Today's video is all about plantar fasciitis. It is such a common issue that many people deal with, especially our clients that have to get impacted everything from running, obviously that whole bottom of foot gets impacted a lot there, avid walkers and hikers, and then athletes of all shapes and sizes. And this thing gets irritating across the board. And so it's something that often is a recurring nagging pain to the bottom of the foot. And so I want to cover kind of briefly where this comes from, why it shows up in so many people, why it's so common, and then how to fix this thing, because this is something that we are often with our clients able to get really fast results in when we do the right mobility and exercise techniques. So just like current clients right now, we have clients like Angie, who is an avid runner progressing toward training into a marathon, and was dealing with plantar fasciitis. So you have Lisa, who is an avid hiker and goes on walks with her dog on a regular basis, and was dealing with plantar fasciitis before she started working with us on a chronic basis, within a chronic basis. And then we have our like a golfer like Michael, who's obviously walking around the course and was impacted by plantar fasciitis himself. So like I said, it shows up all over the place. So how do we get them out of dealing with plantar fasciitis and getting this foot integrity back and its health back? Well, first, plantar fasciitis, where it comes from, the brief explanation is it's really caused for most of us. This varies a little bit. For most of us, it's caused for a couple of different reasons. Well, obviously, plantar fasciitis, if you guys don't know, is the actual fascia line at the bottom of the arch of your foot gets overstretched, and the overstretching creates some tearing in it, and that's where the fasciitis comes into play. That's where it's tearing and getting irritated. Well, why does that happen? Well, the couple of reasons is, one, due to often ankle mobility restrictions. The ankle doesn't have specifically the ability to dorsiflex very much. And when we don't have the ability to pull our toes up very high, then as we walk and or run, we're not going to keep the foot straight because we don't have the range of motion to step through and get into dorsiflexion as we go through it. Instead, our feet are going to start turning out. So often people that are dealing with plantar fasciitis also have a tendency to turn out the feet as they're walking or running. Well, why that matters is if the feet are turning out a ton, the next thing that often will happen is we'll have an ankle stability issue. And the ankle will start to do what's called pronating as we're stepping through. So the ankle will collapse inside this way. And if you guys are staring at the arch of my foot right now, if I collapse my ankle inside, the arch goes away. It flattens out as I'm stepping through. So as I'm standing and I transition to a pronation as I'm leading to the next step, the arch of my foot overstretches and I lose the integrity of that arch of the foot. So that's where the tearing comes in. It gets overstretched. And now, obviously, I'm over exaggerating this. Like we're not walking around like this, but like if we're doing it even in a subtle way, it's death by 1,000 cuts over the course of the day. Or if we're getting in 10,000 steps, it's death by 10,000 cuts. So that's area number one, that the range of motion is missing in the ankle, and the stability around the ankle is missing, so that we're collapsing into pronation. Well, that stability of the ankle is not just due to the ankle, it's also due to the glute complex, which is connected to the core complex. Because when this core complex disengages, that's what reduces the stability of the ankle. More specifically, it's the glute medius in particular, the outside of the butt. And so to elaborate on this, or give you guys kind of the solve of what we do for our clients like Angie, like Lisa, like Michael, how we taught them to correct this problem was by cueing them to, through the glutes, re-engage the integrity of the ankle and just how they stand. And once they mastered how to stand correctly, then we could translate it, how do they walk? And then we could build on to how they run like Angie, or like Lisa and Michael didn't need to work on that. But like if they can get the standing down, then they can work on the walking, then they can work on the running if appropriate. And we can reteach the body to keep that ankle stability there so that the arch stays into its position. Now, I should preface that we also need the range of motion, right? So like we are doing specific mobility techniques around the ankles to increase that dorsiflexion again so that they can have the range of motion to move properly. But the cue that we teach to how to stabilize, at least in standing, is what we call active standing. And how this works is we would obviously get into our normal shoulder width stance. And instead of just letting our feet turn out to the sides, we tell them, get them straight. We want those feet pointed straight ahead. And then the next things that we're going to do is we're going to build the structures back in the foot through the glutes. So how we do that is first, turn the glutes on, just clench the butt cheeks. Literally just clench the butt cheeks together. That'll squeeze the glutes. You turn them on a little bit. Now, the next thing we tell them to do is screw the hips into the ground. So think about the outsides of the hips, the outsides of the butt, activate those guys so that it's almost like you're screwing your feet into the ground. Now, I'm not actually sliding my feet to the sides, and I'm not getting so much so that my toes the big toe comes off the ground here, but I am doing some slight tension so that it feels like in this moment, I'm like a tripod in my foot. I feel my big toe and the pad of my big toe are down. I feel some good tension toward my pinky toe and the sides of my foot, and then my heel's on the ground. And if you guys look at me from the side angle and I do this motion, you'll see here, this is when my glute is disengaged. There's no arch in my foot right now. I got nice flat feet. Then as I squeeze my glute and I screw my hip into the ground, my arch pops up. Then I relax it, squeeze the glute, screw the hip into the ground, arch pops up. So if I can teach this position while I'm standing and build the arch integrity of my foot back up through the glutes, I want these glutes to be supporting me. And I get that to become second nature just by practicing it throughout my day. Brushing my teeth, I'm in activated standing. I'm washing my hands, I get into that activated standing position. When I am like talking on the phone or standing in line at the grocery store, activated standing. As this becomes more second nature, then we can translate that to cues to as we're walking, we're transitioning to that tripod so that we're still using the big toe. That's important, but we're not letting the whole inside of the foot collapse as I'm stepping through. My transition is going from my heel to the outside of the foot to the pad of the foot to the big toe. So it's traveling around the outside of the foot towards the big toe as I'm leading off that ground. And then that translates, like I said, to cues that we can implement to teach our body how to run correctly. So that's how we ultimately solve plantar fasciitis. We rebuild the integrity of that arch so it doesn't collapse in, and it stems from the glutes. And most of us get caught in the symptom chasing cycle where we're doing these treatments, we're doing these mobilizations, we're doing these exercises that are all based around the ankles and the foot, getting these massages done, we're doing these stretches to the toes, and all those things are important. We do that in our program as well. But without the work to the actual hip complex, without getting the glutes and the core to support us correctly so that the foot and ankle has the support from above, then all of this, like I said, is just symptom chasing. We're going to make it feel better in the moments that we do the treatments around the foot, but it's not going to last. So if you guys are interested in getting some specific one-on-one help for free, where you can learn the specifics on why your glutes or your core isn't engaging properly and how that's impacting your foot, or really anything from your neck to your toes, then we have what we call our 2 free consultation calls. There are 2 free calls. With the first call, you get to connect with us and we do like an information gathering session. We want to figure out what you've been through, what your goals are, and what you've tried in the past to get healthy. And then based off of that, we connect on a second call. It's over video, and we go through a number of movement analyses along with some range of motion tests to see the how and why your body is doing what it's doing, and then create a game plan with you all for free on what exercises and what mobility techniques / stretches you need to do to get this thing moving back to full range of stable motion. If you're interested, we're going to post a link to our calendar where you can select the day and time that works best for you. And outside of that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.